I'm Eli, and I make games. So, this week, for Feedback Friday number 14, I'm covering a game called Stick It to Stick Man. But, let's be honest, this is at the top of the games page on itch that are free, and it's not a horror rhythm game. And I was like, yeah, why not read some stuff from a seemingly well-known game that hasn't gone wrong in the past. Not at all. But yeah, I'm gonna actually give feedback, try it, and see how it goes. So, first of all, I'm gonna cover the faults that I found with the game. There's some bugs. Actually, really just one main bug that I found. I'm sure there's many more. After all, it seems that it's early in development, but I'm just gonna get into this. After that, I'll go into the praises and just go from there. So, faults and bugs, I guess. So, the main thing is that really there's not remotely any faults of the main gameplay. It's just things that could be added, things that I would feel like really would benefit the game. The main thing is the game would really benefit from a multiplayer mode. But it's got its own charm being single player, and what it really reminds me of is a game that I can't remember what it's called right now, but I'll put it up on screen. It came out on Switch or something, but it's like that kind of style, but it's different. It reminds me of a combination of that and Stick Fight the Game. And I remember the game was called. It's called Good Job, isn't it? Well, it looks like a combination of Good Job, Stick Fight the Game. You just throw them together and boom, you got Stick It to Stick Man. But if you look at the game and your immediate thought is these two games, well, you've got elements from Good Job. I can kind of see the office setting, the style, throwing coffee mugs, the stuff. But then when you really Stick Fight, all there is you fight things. But there's no multiplayer. What fighting game doesn't have multiplayer? So adding that to the game would really help. It would just help progress the game and make it more interesting. Another thing I would say, and this might happen, but I highly doubt it, because I don't get very far in the game. I got 5 promotions or something. I had some other people play it just to see what they thought, and they only got to 8, so they're better than me. But anyways, I thought it would be interesting if the colors were a little more vibrant and dynamic in a way, and not so much just changing the whole color palette. No, the horrible, yucky basement. It works. It's supposed to be an office, and you're trying to keep your job. Makes sense. But on the player's eyes, all you're seeing almost the entire time is blue, red, and gray, and the occasional yellow. That's just boring. And I think the game would wildly benefit as you go up floors that they kind of eventually change colors. So you start at the gray, and then maybe it kind of changes tone to more of a blue, and then a red, and an orange, and green, and a magenta, and an indigo. Just go through colors and change up the color palette. And it might already be there, and this is useless, but I think adding some layer of just color cycling would really just make it look interesting. And when I'm saying change the color palette, don't change the characters. You always want them to be the same, so you can tell who's who. But I would say change the backgrounds out, and it would just make the game look more appealing and just more interesting on the eyes, because the eyes don't like to look at the same thing over and over again, because it kind of almost hurts in a really weird way. I also did find one major bug, and it's that if you click with your mouse, not during the main menu when you just can't do anything until you close the game and then open it back up again. That's kind of a big deal, because it's game breaking. You use your mouse and okay, you're dead. That's no good. Nobody wants to play a game like that. But yeah, fix that. I assume it's not that complicated. I'm pretty sure in Unity is probably a way to disable mouse for like a certain area and like a scene, like in a scene that doesn't use the mouse, it's probably pretty simple. Just don't have mouse code floating around. That's really it. That's all my suggestions for fixing that. And yeah, that was all the faults. It's not necessarily a bad game, and there's really just more suggestions and feedback per se. But honestly, I feel it still applies, and they could help the game. But now, it's time for the mandatory fun fact of the day. So this week, I'm covering a thing briefly that I'd love to go really in depth into, but I don't have the time. So this week I'm covering the great video game crash of 1983. I'm sure you've heard of this before, but you might not know what happened, how it was resolved, the stuff. I'm just going to do a brief history and go through it. So, the great video game crash in 1983 mainly was caused, it was after the Atari era, when basically the market would just kind of become really saturated with bad, poor quality games. There was no one was mandating things, no one was managing things. Everything was just, oh, you made a game, throw it on the market. I mean, you've got abominations like the E.T. game. It's no good. And so basically, this primarily happened in America. Sure, it happened to other players, but it really just happened in America. Basically, people are like, oh, well, this is all crappy. I guess all video games are crappy. And, like, interest in video games and the market as a whole just really plummeted to the point where the industry saw a huge crash in finances. But, as you know, there's still video games in America. What happened? Well, this small little company from Japan called Nintendo released their Famicom to Japan, had a huge success, and wanted to bring it to America. Problem being, the video game crash. So, what they did is, first of all, they made their console look more like a toy. And they did this intentionally so that people and parents would buy this for their kids as a toy. One way of doing this was by making the Rob the Robot accessory, having the Zapper gun accessory, things like that. And what they also did is they always had the Nintendo seal of approval that's still on all their products to this day, which basically says, hey, this game is not crappy, it's not bad, it is good enough by our standards. And to put a video game on the NES, you needed to have the seal of approval. And so they resolved the market, especially with Super Mario Brothers, which it just shot everything up and felt good again. And yeah, that's the fun fact of the day. So, now on to praises. First of all, I like the controls and gameplay. Controls feel pretty nice. They feel a little weird at times, but honestly, I think it adds to the experience as it is. It's a stickman game with basic physics and stuff. What else is it gonna be? And the gameplay was fun, kicking workers and almost trying to find strategies to get around them. And you always have to be attacking them, or you're probably about dead, especially if they have like a gun or like just any sort of ranged weapon. So that was nice. There was also a nice 2.5D style. I liked it. It just looks nice. At the beginning, I was thinking it was 3D, and the marketing material suggests it's 3D, but that's really not the case. It's 2.5D. But I liked it. It was good. Good. Yeah. And also, currently it's a free game on itch.io. Anyone can get it, play it, have fun with it. But from what I can tell, it's still in development. And if they do bring this out, if you guys bring it out to a full commercial release, I will say this game set up so well to create amazing marketing material. The game's got a high appeal factor by my standards, and it's just the marketing material is already good, but for a commercial game, it's obviously going to have to be better than a free page, obviously. But the gameplay, the style, It's all set up to be really good. Would the color thing I suggested earlier really help with that? Absolutely. It's like if you look at Hollow Knight's Steam page, each screenshot's a different color, which suggests that the thing is bigger than it really is, which would really help this, show different colors. It makes the page look even more appealing. And yeah, this game will easily make good marketing material. And yeah, so that was my review. That was my feedback. This one was a little more lax. Kind of rushed together, if I'm being honest. But hey, it's a Feedback Friday. So, if you like. If you don't, why don't you just still like and subscribe? Peace. Also, follow me on itch.io. That'd be cool. Bye.